Upgrades.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review brought to you from the Toronto International Film Festival. And the next film we are here to talk about is named Fuze. And here's a quick synopsis. An unexploded bomb from World War II is discovered on a busy construction site in central London. Chaos ensues as the military and police begin a mass evacuation against a ticking time clock, while at the same time, a group of bank robbers attempts to rob a bank. And this one is directed by David Mackenzie. It stars Juju Mbatha-raw, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Theo James, and Sam Worthington. Now, what made Fuze so interesting is the setup of the premise of unexploded bomb in World War II being found on a construction site, but at the same time that bomb is found, we get a completely different crew of bank robbers attempting to rob a bank in central London at the exact same time here. This is a caper film. If you've ever seen them before, you kind of know exactly how these type of films move and how these type of films work here. What you really are tuned in here for is a command performance by Aaron Taylor Johnson and Juju, who is masterful as the lead police sergeant, lieutenant. I don't know the rank. They called her mom a lot in this movie, which I've heard in a lot of London films, especially when you get the higher ups. And their performances here is what really drive this film home. Along kind of with Theo James, who's really solid in this film also. But here, it's just a setup and a plot that you're locked into here. You're locked into the tense moments of when this bomb is discovered. And Aaron's team gets on the scene and they have to do whatever they have to do to contain this bomb. So if they have to have the bomb explode, it's in a safe way where no one gets harmed. They pinpoint that this has happened multiple times in London where they found these bombs and they've had to put up barriers to make sure everything is safe. Wow, the sad moment that's happening when we get this full team of bank robbers led by Theo James and Sam Worthington. And we don't know what they're robbing or why they're robbing it or what they're looking for, but we get to see it in parallels of the army and the team working to detain this bomb versus the same group of people working to steal from this bank while the police are still going around to try to evacuate to make everything safe. Now, what I mean by this is a caper film. Every caper film has a twist. I'm not telling you the twist. That would ruin the movie. But it is a twist that's going to happen in this film. And by the time you get to the second part of this film, what made David Mackenzie's direction so good in this film is that he sets it up perfectly. The parallels that you get between the bank robbery and the bomb and the police trying to contain everything and how all those parallels run with one another. And even when we get to the point of what happens after the bomb and what happens after the bank and those setups and how everything is intertwined, you don't really see it coming. You kind of know certain things could be connected, but Fuze does a great job of keeping you in the dark as long as it needed to keep you more intrigued about what's exactly happening here. That's what makes this a caper film that with its twists and with its turns, it can be, I think, possibly one of the most interesting films for people to see this year. Possibly in the vein of like A Usual Suspects, not to the level of The Usual Suspects, but in that same vein of keeping a caper film and keeping the audience in the dark here. And that, again, it happens from having masterful direction here. Now, again, the performances are solid here, and you're getting everything you could possibly want out of each individual moments of the film here. So when they all intertwine with each other, I think that's what's going to keep an audience engrossed. That's what's going to keep an audience intrigued exactly what's happening. And it's about 2 or 3 turns in this film. So when you get to the first turn, you're like, wow, that's great. When you get to the second turn, you're like, I didn't see that coming at all. That is amazing. By the time you get to the third turn and exactly what's happening, I think it's a little too many twisted turns for some people, but none of them are done without the precision to let an audience know exactly what you're going to get here with Fuze. Now, the only issue I had with Fuze is that even though the twists and turns are very well executed, And the way they set up the parallels are still great. I think from an individual story standpoint, that's where it struggles a little bit. The plot is not as strong as it could be. While granted, there's a lot of surprising things that happen in the film, and the story is wonderful. It could have been plotted a little better at times. It does feel like it slows up in pace unnecessarily at times in this film, and then that can really draw you away from something that should have been more high octane. But even with that as a premise of being a problem, this is still a very solid caper film led by, again, this is what Aaron is. At this point, Aaron is the actor that everyone's waiting to become the actor. And this is one of them other performances from him where you see every bit of potential in exactly who he can be. And this is a really command performance from him. And Google, same exact thing. She's great in this film. You kind of wanted more out of her character, and you wanted more given for her character to do. I think that's possibly why the pacing slowed down unnecessarily. It's because they did not interject her character in it enough. And if they did, I think you got a better paced film, but she's still wonderful in this film. This is an ensemble that works well in giving you this Central London caper film that I think is possibly one of the most original caper films that you're going to see. Granted, you can see some things happening, but the twists and turns is what separates this from a lot of things. And the way they play with their own history of these characters is also what really, really works wonders here. But Fuze, brought to you from the Toronto International Film Festival. Out of a possible 10, I am giving Fuze an 8 out of 10. This is a solid caper film. Could it have been better in a way? Quite possibly. Could have been better paced at times, but you're not going to get a better twist than you're going to get it out of this film. They set it up perfectly. I am thoroughly impressed with the 3 parallel storylines running at the exact same time and the way they intertwined it with one another. That to me is masterful direction. To be even able to pull that off is a wonder that David does an amazing job with. And I think that's what's going to keep people intrigued when you all get a chance to see Fuze. But when it drops, and I don't know when it drops, but when it drops, check it out. Come back to this review. Could be 2, 3, 6 months, a year from now. I don't know. But come back to this review. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review brought to you from the Toronto International Film Festival. Peace, people.